Hello and welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle Miller. For those of you that don't know, I am your host, Nichelle Miller. I am also your Pure International Elite Miss Heartland USA and your newest Pure International National Director. So I'm really excited to talk to you tonight. My platform is all about the Power to Dream, which is empowering girls and women to pursue their goals and their dreams. And part of that is being able to share their stories and their journeys. And that's what this show is all about, is sharing my royal friends with you. And I am so excited to share somebody really special with y'all tonight. I've been trying to get her on here forever, and you'll see why as soon as you meet her. So I'm going to pull her into the stream. Give me just a minute here. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you're on. Thank you for being on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tell us all who you are, because you have so many titles.
Oh my goodness. I'm Angie Chambliss, and I have been a part of Pure International Pageant since about 2017. I began my journey actually with Pure. I was working backstage doing hair and makeup. And I've done that for a really long time, coaching young women through pageantry. It was just part of my ministry and who I was. So, but I began my Pure putting myself on the stage because all of the young girls that I had been coaching they all grew up. They all started having children and they weren't competing anymore. My daughter grew out of pageants, and I'm like, why not me? Like, why am I not doing it? So that's how my pageant journey began. And I chose Pure International Pageants. I began as the Elegant Miss Florida. And then within a couple of months, I went to the national competition, and I was honored with winning the national title. And then the following year, I won the international title as well. So, but at that time, the age divisions kind of changed. So I aged out of the Elegant Miss and into the Classy Miss division. And then a couple of years ago, at the 10-year anniversary in Ohio, I won the 10-year anniversary queen. So that's my journey with Pure. And I've also, right now, I am the South Atlantic Regional Director. I've been directing for 2 years with Pure International Pageants. And if anybody's listening and is looking to do a pageant system and you need a director, I'm your girl.
Absolutely. Because your team came and cleaned up. I think y'all took everything.
Yep. We tried. Look, we tried. I will have to say, all of the teams were super strong this year, but I will have to say I was really, really proud of our girls. I had one of my queens. She won the overall mega I should know the title of it, but I don't know. She won she out of all of the mega queens, she won the big, she won the big thing. So and then all of my queens made top 10, and I had I think 7 or 8 of them who made the top 5. I had a national queen, 2 first runner-ups, I had a second runner-up, and I had a couple of fourth runner-ups as well. So we did really well.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yes, and the optional categories, we also won. A lot of our girls took home quite a few of the optional first place titles as well.
Awesome. And you were so hands-on. So I think when I first saw you at internationals, you were in the hair and makeup room doing hair and makeup.
Yeah.
So, not your average director. She does it all, y'all.
Well, I don't want to do hair and makeup if I don't have to, but if I have to stick my hands in there, I am capable of doing that.
Definitely. And you did amazing. You're amazing. So I first got the opportunity to meet you at Pure Family Christmas.
That's right. Yeah.
Last year in December, which was such a treat. I've already asked for the dates for this year because I'm so excited.
I haven't got the dates yet, and so I'm looking forward to going back again. I hope Miss Pat's watching, so give us a date really soon because we need it. I need to start planning.
Yes. I could tell you that it's the first weekend.
Oh, okay. Wink, wink. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see. Well, good. Yeah.
And then during that time, you led a session because you're also on the board or the head of the board for the Proverbs 31 program.
Right.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I will tell you, I mean, Proverbs 31, it kind of began with just a conversation between Miss Pat and I. We were just having a phone conversation one night. I was working with the board for the National Cemetery. Part of my platform was working with homeless veterans, but I was also helping at the National Cemetery, working my way on becoming a board member and working with Gold Star families and just doing a lot of prayer stuff. And we had been raising money. We had raised a significant amount of money for a Gold Star monument. And I was really proud about it. And so I put it on Facebook. And so she called me and we just started talking about raising money and helping other people. And how can we do that? And so we came up with the idea of the Proverbs 31, having a luncheon where we would provide a scholarship for our Teen Miss winner. Now we provide the scholarship for the teen and the miss this year at the international level. So, but it was also a way that we were also able to do scholarships for hardships. People who it was during the middle of COVID. You know, we did lose some people, some spouses through COVID. And so it was our way that we could send flowers or help with the funeral expenses. And in some way, we've helped with house fires, we've helped with floods, with ladies who have had breast cancer, you know, just wherever we can help, we try to raise the funds to step in and to meet those needs of our pageant family.
I love that. I love that. And I love that it's so focused on faith and prayer and uplifting women, because pageantry in life is so competitive and can get icky at times. And to have this group that's there and, you know, supporting each other is amazing. So
yeah. And, you know, I love the fact that, you know, we have the Kentucky Derby luncheon each year where everybody gets to dress up, wear their hats and stuff. And so I don't know. Did she announce did Miss Pat announce what the theme was going to be, right? Rhinestone Roundup.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want to give out any information.
No, it's
I'm in trouble. But anyways, so this year we are going to announce that our Kentucky Derby is going to follow along those lines. It's still going to be a luncheon, but we're going to have everybody bring out their best Western blinged out cowboy hats instead of a Kentucky Derby hat.
I love it. Y'all heard it first. So all of y'all that are coming to internationals in Gatlinburg, you heard it first, so you can get ready.
Yeah,
so.
I called her and I asked Miss Pat the other night. I was like, "Can we kind of follow along the whole theme of what you're doing? If we're doing a rhinestone roundup, can we do like cowboy hats, like blinged out cowgirl hats?" And so that's what we're going to do for the Kentucky Derby this year, is really blinged out.
I love it. I love it. We had a really good question. Hey, Diane, one of your girls is on. She says, how do you get involved with Proverbs 31? Really
okay, so Proverbs 31, we do have an annual, if you want to become a part of Proverbs 31, we do have a $50. It's your annual dues. And once we receive that, then we just add you to our Proverbs 31 group.
Now, it's only open for Pure International?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Just to clarify that.
And so, I mean, and then within that group, we do, our Denise Cole is usually the one who will post each week our devotionals. She's very good about keeping up with all of that, but it's also where we have where people put in their prayers. And a lot of times, you know, they don't want it on Facebook, but they will post it within our group so that we can pray about it.
It's awesome. And last week's was so timely. It was about anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I mean, it's when God answers, when you're going through something and you're just like, oh. So, okay, I won't go too there.
Yeah. And I have to say, I mean, Denise has been, she sent me a book because, you know, me, myself, I've been going through a lot of anxiety. I had some surgery back. It's been 10 weeks ago, actually today. And on the backside of it, you know, my body healed fine, but something changed in in my brain. And so I've just been facing a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic attacks, and these are things that I've never had or that I dealt with before. But I always say, you know, because I've been looking at wanting to do a women's conference that focuses on mental health and wellness, because in the Christian community, it is still so taboo that people, yes, God does heal, but he also gives us, you know, wisdom to be well through medication, and has given man wisdom to produce things that can help us with anxiety and panic attacks. And then in the meantime, you know, we can still pray and ask for divine healing and for a touch from God. But, you know, I do believe that healing also comes through man and through medicine, because God has imparted that wisdom upon them. And I feel like, because that's the thing that I wanted to focus on in my women's conference, that is the very thing that I'm facing and going through right now. So, and I just, you know, I keep giving God the glory, and I keep saying, you know, God, I know I'm going to come out on the backside of this, and there's a reason and there's a purpose as why I'm here. But yeah, the devotional came. It was right. It was a right on time word, and you know, it's helping any little bit of information that you get, and any type of thing that's imparted by God and His Word is always, you know, it's going to make you stronger and better on the backside of everything.
Amen. Amen. Somebody said, preach it, sister. That's right. Yeah. This is such a praying woman right here, y'all. All right. Diane says you're so amazing.
Oh,
So, and I have to, my husband was on last week as my special guest, and I just wanted to shout out your husband because there was a point when you weren't feeling well, and you were doing what we all do, where we pour into everyone.
right.
And we don't take care of ourselves. And he shut it down. He was like, no, she is not feeling well. Leave her alone. And I was like, yes,
yeah.
sir.
And I will even say, he even came to the pageant and was just like, I'm taking her home, you know, and he's like, you're going to go home, and we're just going to chill out. And because he knew that I needed it. And I feel blessed, and I'm very lucky that I have a husband who can recognize those things and be willing to step in and be that head of the household. And I'm very lucky to have him.
Yeah, I love it. And your girls are like, yes, we love David. David's awesome.
Well, now he's got a new name, Bob. If everybody remembers Bob at the pageant.
That's right.
We renamed him, and he had never seen Miss Congeniality. We actually watched it yesterday, so he had seen it for the first time. He's like, oh, we could have done that so much better.
Now he's going to bring it back. There's going to be another chance for it to come back.
Yeah, we've got to figure out how to bring it all back.
I love it. I love it. All right. So good question from Miss Diane. What would be your best advice for those competing in the Pure system?
I think the best advice when you're competing with Pure International is that you really have to be involved in your community. We are really focused on being an impact in your community. And this year, we know that 60% of the score for Pure International is going to come from that interview process. But within that process, you're going to have to submit your Be the Impact project. So I say just be very intentional and focused. I know a lot of people have their hands, like I do a little bit here, I do a little bit there, but if you can just really zone in and focus in on your Be the Impact project, and really, I'm not real sure of the word that I'm trying to find here, but you just really want to focus in on your Be the Impact project and make it the biggest and best that you can.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Good question. And y'all can ask any questions live. I'm trying to get through them as they pop up so I can make sure we get all of Ms. Angie's wisdom, because she has so much. So you do, and I have to, because I stalk your Facebook page, because you are hair and makeup, and then photography a little bit also.
Oh no photography. I just do selfies. I dabble in it, but I do not like go do anybody's hair and makeup and then take pictures or anything. I just do my own hair, my own makeup, and I do my own photo.
Okay, because
So
sometimes
that's the extent of that.
she'll post photos, and I'm like, oh, that's a good picture. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I know how to do like the photo editing. I have a program for all of that. So if any of my team members, if they have a photo and I feel like it needs to be, edited or to remove something, I can do small things, but I do no photography whatsoever.
You're a one-woman show. You wow me all the time. And she always looks fabulous, just so y'all know, in case you do.
Well, and so do you. Thank you.
Mrs. Quinn, what's the best advice you have for anyone who struggles with their community service projects?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Well, for me, I mean, it depends on like, can you ask, like, be a little more specific? I mean, is there something that you're struggling with your, like, getting it off the ground, or I'm not real sure.
Gwen, do you mean like finding their community service or identifying their project, or just finding things to be involved with, or we'll circle back to that one. So,
okay. All right.
We'll circle back. Let's see, Miss Rhonda, dedicate your time to your Be the Impact project. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So while we're waiting on Miss Gwen, oh, she's back. Okay.
Okay.
What if one cannot find the projects to be involved with? Okay.
I think just pray about it. I mean, honestly, one of the things, anything, and if I'm not sure about what direction that I'm supposed to take, I am a praying person. So, I will take it to God and just, and he'll lead you in the right direction, and where there's a need and where you could focus your time and your energy. And then if you're really not sure, the best place to ask is being involved. I'm involved with my local Chamber of Commerce, and you can always call there and ask them where there is a need and where you can fill in, because there's always volunteer opportunities in your community, and the best place to get that information is through your local Chamber of Commerce.
Good. All right.
Hopefully that ain't helped.
She's a director also for another system, so I think that's going to be helpful too, as she shares info with her girls.
And I just feel like, what's in your heart. I mean, even just doing laundry for people. There's a thing that we used to do. It's called Laundry of Love. And we would just go to the laundromat and wash people's. We would just collect change throughout I had a little thing that I collected at work. And this wasn't even part of my project or my platform, but there was such a need, for people's clothes to be washed. And if you go by the laundromat, and it's just so expensive. And I thought one of the ways that you can bless somebody is just doing a thing called Laundry of Love. You just show up at the laundromat and you just start putting the quarters in and paying for people's laundry to be done. And it's just that simple.
I love that. I love that. Now, if you can fold mine and put it away.
Oh my gosh, no. I will wash it and I will move it to the dryer, but I do not want to fold it.
Fine. That's where I struggle. That's where I get stuck. Okay. So you do hair and makeup. You also direct, you competed, and then you work, right?
I do work.
Outside of the home. So how do you kind of keep everything moving and keep everything organized? Because you have a lot of
I've been doing it for so long now. I don't know. I don't know how I do it, but it's not without stress. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have stress behind it all, but again, it's just prioritizing your time. I do set a time that I get up every morning. I start my day with God. It's just in the way that you prioritize your day and make sure that, for me, it gets worked out because I do start my day with God, and He just makes it all work for me, and keeping things in priorities. Having a husband that helps me with, we share our things here at the house. I help him mow. He helps me clean. We share all of our household duties with one another. So that helps out a lot. Whenever you come home from work, I came home the other day and dinner was cooked. He's like, I know that you had a stressful day because I work for a doctor. And so when I got home, he had already had dinner waiting and ready for me, and vice versa. last Thursday, he works for UPS, and he's out on a hot truck. And then we have been having one heck of a hot wave, and especially here in Florida, it has been, yesterday we reached, I think, 114. The heat index was like 114. So his truck is super hot, and I just thought, you know what, he works in the heat all day. When he gets home, I'm going to have the grass mowed. I love mowing the grass, and so I just got out there, mowed the yard, got it all done, so that it was just something that he didn't have to do. But we just share, we try to help one another and share the household chores. So it makes it a lot easier.
I love that. And it does. It takes a partnership to keep it going. So let's see. And Miss Gwen came back. Oops. She says, I believe in the power of praying and love how God drops ideas in my spirit. Great idea of changing. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So you had like quite the successful group. You have all these things going on. What would be your best piece of advice you would give anyone considering pageantry overall?
Or as a director or as a competitor?
As a competitor.
I think the best advice as a competitor is, it's one of the things that I tell my team is like, when you go into it, we go in, we want to win, but it's just like anything else that you do, a sport. You go in, you have to have the attitude. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And you got to win with grace, you have to lose with grace. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I could give somebody is to be prepared. Go in, be prepared. I have been in pageant systems. I've been around them behind stage, where I'm doing hair and makeup, and people are they're just horrid to one another. Just be prepared, but be kind. And go in with the mindset, you want to go in, you want to do your best, you want to give it your all. But you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And I think that, God sees the way that you win and he sees the way that you lose. So,
yeah.
So my biggest advice is just to, it is being prepared.
Absolutely.
And just to add on to that, just kind of going down like a little bit of a rabbit hole and being prepared. If you're going to be in a pageant, I do recommend getting your hair and your makeup professionally done. It does make a difference. You may not, some systems don't give any points for beauty, for instance, but they do give an overall appearance. Like, how is that package put together? And you want your package to be put together 100%, and that is from the hair, your makeup, the choosing of your gown. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a gown, but you do want it to be something that fits you, your body type. Especially for me, I'm pear-shaped, so I know what fits and looks best on me. So those are the things that you just really want to focus in on. What kind of body shape do I have? What looks best on that body shape? And then you just go from there. You find the dress that works for you, and pay the extra money, save the money, and hire that hair and that makeup artist that works behind stage, because they're going to make you look your very best when you go out there, and as a well put together package.
Yeah. And I think that's probably, wardrobe's important, but I think the overall investment of the hair and makeup, it just ties it all together. And it's one less thing to worry about. It's a little bit, I think it's a pampering moment, because pageant week can be kind of crazy. It's a little pampering for you, and then it's one less thing to worry about. So I think that's really good.
The last thing I want to do is, if I'm competing, is do my own hair and makeup. You're already nervous. You've got a million things going through your mind, before you step out on that stage. So that is just one less thing that you have to worry about, is, your hair and your makeup being done professionally by somebody else. And especially if you have somebody who is calming, and the two ladies that I brought with me this year, both of them coach as well. So as they're getting their hair and their makeup done, they're being consistently coached in that chair as well before they ever stepped out on that stage.
That's amazing. That's a director for y'all. That's what you get. So you kind of talked a little bit about your team. So you direct. Now, let me kind of clarify this for people too. Pure has no borders. So I can be in Indiana and could have competed as part of Miss Angie's team. But locally, you have Florida and Atlanta.
I have Florida, which is the South Atlantic region, but the South Atlantic region encompasses, I have the Caribbean, I have Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba. Yeah, so I do have girls who are going to be coming from those areas this year, which I'm really excited about. And then the North Atlantic, which is a second area that I'm going to be directing this year, is from the Georgia, like North Carolina, South Carolina area.
Okay. I knew there was some Atlanta coming down. That I was like, it's coming down the border there.
Right.
Okay. So as part of your team, what can girls expect?
Well, first of all, I let all of my girls know. I mean, to be a part of Pure International Pageants, you don't have to be a Christian, but I am a Christian, and I'm going to talk about God quite a bit. Yeah. You can expect, for me to, I'm going to share my faith with you. And so that's one of the things that you can expect from me is that, God is a huge part of my life each and every day. And so I'm going to share that with you. And I think one of the things that they can expect is that I'm all on board. Like once you are my team member, I care for you just like your family. I really try to invest in each and every one of my team members. I'll try to let them know that I care, that I'm more than just a director to them, that, I want to be a friend. I want to be their cheerleader, and I want to do everything that I can possibly do to have them prepared and ready for the day of competition. So everything that I give, I give my heart and soul. I give everything I've got to them, all my knowledge, everything that I have, if outside of, if they were not one of my pageant queens, I charge that for that information. They people hire me to be a coach. And so once you are one of my girls, like all of that information comes free, and we do boot camps, and, I teach them their walks if they don't, but if they have, but one thing I will not do is I will not enter if they do have a coach. I do try to, and they've never been to Pure and they have a pageant coach, just to try to give them the information so that they are being coached correctly. But other than that, I just try to give 100% of who I am and love on them and cheer for them and just give them all of me.
I love it. And I think that's so helpful and so important and so unique to Pure, because I think that my experience with my director was the exact same thing, was that it's very hands-on, it's very loving, it's very family, and you get everything. And so it's not, charging because you're part of the family. It's amazing. So, okay, cool. Let's see. We had another question pop in. What advice would you give to someone who freezes up an interview? Oh, good question.
I think whenever you get into the interview process, I hate when people are just over rehearsed. And I think that's when they freeze up, is because you go in and you've tried to memorize answers and things to what could possibly be asked. And so you try to memorize these things, and then you get in there and you forgot what you want to say. The best advice, if you're freezing up, just start speaking from the heart. Speak from the heart. Because there's nothing more refreshing that when you go in and you're in that interview process and you finally come across somebody who is just literally speaking from their heart and from life experiences, and it's not all memorized. And I'm not saying not to have, not to know certain things that you want to talk about. For me, I know my whys. Why am I there? Why am I competing at that certain pageant system? And I know, why should they choose me over anyone else? I have those things, but they're like PowerPoints in my brains where I just don't have it completely memorized. But I know that, like, I want to touch on this, I want to touch on that, and I know my PowerPoints in my brain. And I think that's what helps me not freeze up in the interview, because I don't have it memorized. So I think a lot of times when that happens, it's because somebody has just really memorized their questions and their answers, and it didn't come out the way that they wanted it to. So they freeze and like, oh my God, like I just totally said the wrong thing. But if it's not memorized and you're speaking from your heart, there's no right or wrong. Like, you're not going to mess up.
Yeah, exactly. You know you, so you should
You know
be able to
you know,
present
and a lot,
that.
right.
Okay. Lori Dusso says, best director out there.
Oh, well,
All
thank
right.
you, Lori. I have the best team out there.
You do. You have an awesome team. Awesome. Let's talk about that Miss Peggy.
Oh gosh. Don't make me
Y'all, if you did not watch Pure International Pageant, you need to go back on Facebook and watch it. And you need to look at Miss Peggy LaCroix. Now she's your class, she's in your classy Miss
She's
division.
a classy Miss,
And
she was actually my second grade elementary school PE coach.
no.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask, like, how did you meet her and how did that is so
she was my
cute.
school teacher when I was in second grade.
She's so cute. Y'all need to go back and watch it. And I know they didn't show talent because of copyright, but she did the cutest dance with your, was it teen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, with your teen.
Yeah.
So cute. Love her. Love her, love her, love her. So what's it like coaching and working with Miss Peggy? I know she's not here. We can talk about it.
Yeah, oh gosh, Peggy is like I posted, I think y'all may have seen my post from last night, that she is like a mom to me. She came into my life about 2019. She was competing for a local title here, and that's just kind of what sparked it. She was running for Classy Miss or Senior Sumter County, something like that. And so my sister, who was a school teacher along with Miss Peggy, said, hey, why don't you have Angie do your hair and makeup? So that's when it all began. It's like whenever I started doing her hair and makeup for that pageant. And when she won, because we did a quick lesson in her living room. I'm like, do you know how to walk? Do you know what pretty feet are? And she's like, no, I have no idea. So we put together a quick little routine. Well, she ended up winning. And so I just said, hey, I'm a director for Pure International Pageants. Like, would you like to come and do this pageant? I think you would be great. I think you would love it. And so she came aboard, and she was with us for 1 year. And then the next year she lost her son in Saudi. And to this day, we still don't know what happened. The government just over there will not give up any information. And we literally took an act of Congress to get his body home, which was 45 days later. And they sent him home in a metal box, to just be honest with you. And his body was so decomposed, and she just needed somebody. And it just was, I had lost my mom, which pulled us closer together. And then it wasn't much, about just a few months later, she lost her son. And so it has just created a bond between the two of us that it's like a mother-daughter. She likes to call me Sissy, but to me, I look at her as more of a mother figure. And that's just how it's been. And she lost her husband, so she doesn't have she doesn't have a family left. And so it's me, and I want to be that person that's there for her, and to love on her and toot her horn and let her know just how proud I am of her.
I love it. And she's so amazing and so much energy.
Oh my gosh, I do not have the energy. Look,
all the time.
I cannot keep up with Peggy, and she is 70 years old. I cannot keep up with her. I'm like, she will go to bed at midnight. If you're in a room with her, oh my gosh. But that's a whole nother story. But she will go to bed at I love Peggy. Oh my God, she is hilarious. Like, she loves her social media too. So she'll be on there. She'll be like talking. She will, if you write a comment, she will answer you back. So she'll be on there making sure she has answered everybody on social media before she puts her phone down to go to bed. And then she will wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and she's like ready to go. I'm like, good Lord.
Energy for days. If nothing else, y'all need to join the Pure family so y'all can come and meet Miss Peggy. That's just it.
Yeah, but she has, she's the kindest heart, and she loves visitors. So if anybody ever wants to come to Florida for like a girls' getaway, her house is literally like Cracker Barrel. It's a little it's a log cabin, and you walk in, and you're like, dear Lord, I just walked into Cracker Barrel. And she will cook for you like Cracker Barrel.
Oh my, and that's
So,
what Miss
but
Rhonda
she
just
loves
said.
company. So if anybody ever wants to come down to Florida to visit, please come. She would love to have you.
Oh gosh. See, and I need to come back because I need to do the bioluminescence thing again and all that. So I will definitely come
I
visit.
see where Rhonda says she can cook like nobody's business, because Rhonda stayed with her before. So this Peggy fed them well.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Tammy, we had the honor to room across the hall from her this year.
Yeah.
That's
She
awesome.
is. She's a hoot for sure. Like she's
That
got
is
more
awesome.
energy than anybody I know.
Do you find, because I do personally, but and I think you're probably the same way, that being a director, mentor, partner is a ministry?
It is.
Yeah.
It's I had a pageant system myself, and it was I started in 2000, and at the end of or right at the beginning of 2011, I gave it up because I found out I was sick with cancer. So I just wasn't well enough to continue with it. But it was a ministry for me. It was a way that I was able to just speak life into these young girls and teach them. Again, whenever they came to do my pageant, it was Miss Lake County. It was a scholarship pageant. But when they came, I would have them come weeks in advance, and we would practice, and I would teach them the steps and where to go and how to compete. So so the girls who, they might have had a coach, but it gave these other young girls the opportunity to be able to possibly win against them, because sometimes experience wins out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to bring them in and to teach them and to make it a super competitive competition, because everybody was pretty much on the same level. And, it just became a ministry, feeding life into these girls, seeing them blossom, seeing them grow. And Tori Dusso, actually one of my queens, she was one of those young girls. I just remember her at the age about 5 or 6 years old, and she was doing the Miss Lake County, and she came up to me, and she has always just been fantastic. Even as a little girl, she's just always been fantastic on stage. And I just remember her coming up to me. I think she finished up in the top 5 and didn't win. And she was like, but I'm the princess. And I'm like, at this point, I will never, like every single one of my little ones, like there was the main crown, but every one of them got a little tiara, because I was like, oh my gosh, my heart, I can't have them walking away not thinking that they're a princess, because they're the daughter of a king. And so it was a ministry for me, and it was a way that I could, again, just speak life into these young girls, impart wisdom, and just encourage them to continue in life and with confidence. And as they've gotten older, to be able to go into an interview for a job and be able to do that.
I love that. And Diane asked, good question, Diane. I want to know that too. Okay. So I have to kind of go back a little bit. So at our internationals, the directors actually competed in a pageant that was hilarious. Yes. Was that streamed? I don't know. Was that streamed?
I don't think so.
Okay. I wish it was live streamed. It was so cute. But the dress that you wore was phenomenal. I was like, wow.
Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you.
And then Diane just asked, what are your favorite places to shop for pageant clothes? Because you are always dressed.
You know what? Sheen? Is that how you say it? Sheen?
I think that's pageant girl.
I get the best, like what I have on tonight. Like this little, isn't that cute?
That is cute.
It was like $2.97. Like, it's mine. Like, just send it to me. Take my money. But honestly, I do. I will research and look. I have like if I screenshot something, I have a whole thing in my gallery just for my screenshots for pageants or on Pinterest. I will do my homework. And if I find something or I have something in my mind, I will research and look for it. And I don't even know if y'all know that if you see somebody else that has something that's similar to what you like if you take a screenshot on it, you can upload that into Google. You can
Yes.
upload it on Machine. You can do that on Amazon, and it will find you what you were looking for. So for me, it's just I just diligently, and I'm looking, and then sometimes I just don't even have an idea until I see something and I'm like, oh, that's it. Like for the 10-year anniversary, I don't know if you had seen the pink outfit that I had wore, but I was just like, these ladies are the best of the best. I'm about to go up against the best of the best. And I kept looking, and then this pink, it was, it was the first time the tutu things came out with a really long train with all of the different the ruffles on it. And so I saw that and I'm like, that's it. That's what I want. But it's just, I just have I look on Pinterest for ideas. I look through, Shein. I look through, oh my goodness, Amazon. I do little on Amazon, not too terribly much for clothing because I just feel like it never comes in right. Every once in a while, I'll find something. I'm like, oh my God, this came off of Amazon. But it's really just, doing your homework and just research and looking for that perfect outfit.
Yeah. And I think as soon as you know or you're thinking about competing, that's when your wardrobe decisions start. It's not
right. Exactly. Right. Yes, that's right. And then, for your gowns and stuff, it's just, everybody has their favorite boutique. For me here in the local area, there's, it's called Patricia's. And so she's 2 city blocks big and has so many dresses in there. So for me, every time that's where I'll head there, and she has every Sherry Hill, Giovanni, you name it, she has it. So I will go there.
Wow. Miss Pat says we're so proud of Angie.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all, when you meet people that you just like them. You don't know them, but you just like them. That's how I felt when I met you last December. I was like, oh, I just like her. And I was
thank you. Well, I thought the same thing about you. I'm like, I need to know her. I need to know her more.
I was so excited. Internationals, I saw you and I was like, oh, she's here. I was so excited. Okay. Anyway, Diane said, let's have a girls' day out. Well, I want to come to Florida and shop for girls' day out.
That's right.
Lori said, you're always looking for stuff for your team. Oh,
I'm always looking. Yes, I do. I have even I'll send them something. I'm like, I saw this and I think I see you. And, I do. I'm always looking for stuff for our team, especially for their national costume ideas for that kind of thing. There was a cute little outfit that I saw because last year Lori had to go back and to recompete at the new national level at the regional. And I saw this really cute outfit on Shein, and I'm like, this looks so much like you. And so sure enough, she got it, and she got a really good score in it too. So
I love it.
I do. I'm always looking. I'm looking for gowns and I'm looking for outfits. I'm looking at national costumes for them, ideas. I'm always pinning. I'm always sending them stuff. And what do you think about this? And so
I love it. Let's see what else. Oh, Chrissy Marie, thank you. That's so sweet. I'll have to pin that and come back to y'all. Okay. So what is one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I used to have a Jeep. I used to be a really redneck girl. I got something. I know. A lot of people don't know that I was in the Air Force, and I served in our country during Desert Storm, And I was a meteorologist, and I love weather, and that's what my degree is atmospheric science. And when I got home from the Air Force, I actually was trying to get on at a news station, and this is how hair and makeup started. So I was working at a news station in like working background stuff, but then they needed a hair and makeup person, and I just started right there. Didn't know what I was doing. And so I was like, I could do it, and didn't know what I was doing at all.
And you're amazing.
Anyhow, but yeah, when I was in the military, I was a meteorologist. So that's something interesting that people don't know. And then while I was in, we had a tornado, and I was able to put out a warning for the base in time, which was everybody was able to get everything secure on the tarmac and get everything secure. And because of that, and putting out the weather warning in time and the tornado warning, and to get everybody into a safe place, and everybody got the everything battened down on the tarmac, I actually ended up winning Airman of the Year, which was very unusual. That came out of the meteorology group, because typically Airman of the Year comes from your emergency, like your police department or the hospital, those type of areas. It never comes out of the weather unit. And so I was actually, blessed to win Airman of the Year.
Oh my goodness. Now that's
it marked history for me. I feel like, it marked history for women, because in the military it's 28 men to 1 woman. So I was able to make history as a woman in the Air Force.
Wow. She's not just beautiful, but she's super smart and amazing and great. Let's see. Someone said your son's a rock star.
Oh, he is? Oh, I forgot about I forgot about him.
Oh, him.
I guess because he's just my son, but yes, he is a rock star. He travels internationally with his band, and they're getting bigger and bigger every year, and they're on their 4th album. And so yeah, he's a rock star.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though. Whenever I go to like one of his shows, and he'll come out to get me and David, so he can walk us into the venue. And, it's just so weird to see people like patting him on the back, and they're like, hey, can I get your autograph? Can I get your picture? And I'm like, this is just so weird. Like, It's just my kid. But they've worked hard for, their band's been going for about 10 years now. I just remember when he was 18 years old and he graduated high school. I've never been so happy in my entire life. He literally graduated with y'all don't tell him I told you this, but it was like a 2.7. I'm like, oh, we did it. We made it. You made it. You only needed a 2.5 to graduate. We made it. And so when he got out, he's like, I want to be in a band. And he had drum lessons. We had drum lessons for years. I'm like, oh, are you going to be a drummer or what? He's like, no, I'm going to sing. I'm like, what? I'm like, do you even know how? You're 18 years old. I have never ever heard you sing. And then the first time I ever heard it, because it was like this hard rock stuff, I'm like, oh my God, like, what is that? I'm like, that sounds like it comes from the pits of hell. And he's like, Mom, what does the pits of hell sound like? So it's it is heavy metal. They're now moving where it's a little bit more, rock music more than it is heavy, but that's where they started. It was a Christian, the boys, they were from Christian homes, and David and I are ordained ministers, and one of the dads he is a pastor of a church still, and the other ones, his mom and dad were music ministers at their church, and also did a lot of production with Disney. So they were very talented kids, but and they started off as a rock band, but their type of music, there was just really, even though there was like Skillet out there, they were harder than Skillet, and they were trying to reach. At first I just didn't understand, like, what are y'all doing? And he's like, Mom, we're trying to reach these kids that our youth pastor can't reach. He's like, Pastor Mike, he can go to the high school and he can get most of the majority of the kids to come to youth group, but we're after the ones that are in the the ones that have like the bigger piercings and the tattoos, and like it was just a whole different group of kids that they were after to lead them to Christ through their music. And it did. It started making a difference in their life. And if you go to their show, I mean, they don't call themselves a Christian band, but you will never hear them cuss. You will never, well, first of all, I told my son I'd drag him off the stage if I ever heard him cuss in front of anybody, because that's a reflection of me. So I'm like, I will pull you off by your long hair. Don't worry, I am for real. So, but anyways, they don't cuss, and all of their music really focuses on like life experiences or their hometown. They have one out. It's about some kind of an alligator. I don't know, something from Florida. It's the craziest thing, but I support him and I love what he's doing, and he's living out his dream. So I'm very proud.
I love it. Now, what's their band name?
Wage War.
Wage War. Y'all go check it out.
Yeah.
And
they do have an album that is they took their hard music and they stripped it, where it's more acoustic, and that's more pleasing to the ear.
Wow. Wow. See, things I don't know, things you don't know about people that you know. Interesting. Yeah. I love it.
And then I have a daughter. She's been an internet sensation herself, and she does modeling, and but she lives in Australia with her fiance now. But yeah, she does gaming for a living. This stuff is wild for me. I mean, I'm like, she makes a living at it. I mean, she makes more money than I do. She makes more money than my doctor.
Doing all that stuff, all the gamey things they do. Twitch,
yeah, I mean, she treats it as a job. She logs on and she treats it as a job, and she's on from for 8 hours, and she'll log back off. But I mean, she makes more money than the doctor I work for.
Wow.
She makes more money than my son, who's
y'all. The power to dream is so amazing, and just the way that the careers that exist now.
Yeah,
you can't even fathom. Like, what are you gonna do for your life, for your career? I'm just gonna play video games. Like, could you imagine that?
Yeah,
my mom would have been like, what?
I know. I don't get like a lot of stuff today, like the generation, but you know what? It works for her, and she's also got a couple of little modeling things that she does for companies, and so she does real well.
I love it. I love it. We did have one person that said, wait, you got rid of the Jeep.
So. I did get rid of the Jeep. I know.
And that would upset my husband because he's a Jeep guy. So
I love my Jeep. I am a true little redneck. I am in the sense of like, I like trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like trucks, but I love my Jeep. But my husband and I wanted to start doing a little bit of traveling, and he has a truck, and it's just a gas guzzler, and then my Jeep Wrangler, and I loved it. It was like my baby girl. We called her a pavement princess because she never got to see dirt or mud. Like, she's not going to get dirty.
I love it.
But yeah, I just recently got rid of her. I got a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it's not the same. It is not the same.
You Jeep people. Yeah, my husband's looking at it's a Jeep, but it looks like a pickup truck. And I think
I
think it's the weirdest looking car, and he's just smitten. And I'm like, okay.
I love it. I love them. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. What advice would you give someone who's going through a hard time mentally? Oh, that's a good question.
Well, for me, I would say find professional help. For the longest time, I was trying to do it by myself. And it just really got to a point, even though I was praying and God was part of every day, like I really focused on God and the scriptures and just really drawing near to my Lord and Savior. But I did seek professional help. There's so many different outlets out there, and I just went through one, and I found a Christian counselor. And once you meet them, you can kind of determine whether they are, if that's the person for you, and if it's not, you can move on to the next one. But just find somebody who is a professional who can help you maneuver through that mental if it's anxiety or if it's a panic attack or whatever it is, that way that they can help you maneuver through all of that.
Yeah. And I really appreciate what you said at the beginning about how it's so almost taboo, especially in the Christian community, because it's especially I think your old school folks are like, oh, if you pray, everything's fine. There is no depression there, but there is. And you can pray and you can do all the things. And God told us it wasn't going to be easy. We knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Right.
And it's okay to not be okay and to
It
get
is.
help.
Yeah. And so, and that's what I did. And I mean, there were just, things that, that were given to me to help me, focus on, like the 5 things that are surrounding you, what do you hear, what do you smell, what do you see, what can you touch, those things. And it really, when you start like walking yourself through those kind of things, it helps you take your focus off of what you're going through at that moment. And then I found something really interesting. It was called grounding. And again, when God made the earth, he said that it was good. And when you literally walk in on the surface of grass, like the ground barefooted, there's like these electrons and stuff that moves it's real energy. It's not, it's scientific, like it moves through your body, which really helps your body heal from certain things. And so just getting professional help helped me, even, and it would, like I said, she was a Christian woman, helped me find these avenues to just get better. And like things I never even knew about, because for a hot minute I was trying to do it on my own. It's like, I could do this, like it's just, I'm on the backside of the surgery, my body is reacting funny. Well, maybe it was, but I did have to end up like finding help. And there, like I said, there's a plethora of outlets out there that can help you.
I love it. And I just adore you. I love you and I appreciate all your time. And I love how you pour into us. And I'm a sponge. I just love it.
Oh, thank you.
I can't.
And I stalk your page too. I'm always looking at your page and your information because I just think you're amazing. And, just to watch what you're doing and your ministry, I'm always watching your page just to let you know.
Thank you. I'm not going to hold you hostage. We're almost an hour. So,
this
y'all,
is fun. I could do it for another hour.
Me too. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Miss Angie, any closing words or comments for our viewers, our listeners? This does go out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, so people will get to look.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, since we did focus a little bit on mental health, I would just say if you are struggling with anything, seek help. It's like Michelle was saying, that it's okay to not be okay and to ask for help from people. And to really, for me, I was able to draw close to the Lord during that time. I was able to seek help, but I also drew close to the Lord, and he helped me navigate through all of that. I'm still kind of going through some things, and but just, it's okay not to be okay. So God loves you. He's there for you. His word is active. It's alive. And his promises are, whenever you pray on his promises, he has to deliver on them. That's when we declare and we decree something over our life, is that we declare his word and then we decree something. So he has to move upon that. And so I just had to really focus on that and believe and stand firm in my faith. And I just believe that he is the one that led me to getting help that I needed.
Amen. And then your test becomes your testimony, and it's going to bless someone else. So I just so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your time. Oh, Miss Pat. Oh, thank you.
She is my biggest role model. Miss Pat's I tell her all the time, anytime that if I have to introduce her, or, whenever I'm, like for the Proverbs 31, I introduce her, and I truly mean it, that she's more than a friend. She is a mentor to me. And, whenever she posts on Facebook, her words of wisdom is just, it's always speaking to me every single time. So love you too, Miss Pat.
Yes, love you. She's amazing. Amazing. October 15th, 2022, sat and listened to her talk, and it changed my life. And
Right.
that's when I joined Pure. And I will never forget that date. I will never forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, I could keep going forever. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Miss Angie, I thank you so much. Those of you that are near the South looking
Yes.
for a pageant journey, this is the lady you need to go to. I'll have her info posted. We'll get this posted up on our YouTube channel as well. What else? Wednesday night, special bonus episode. I will have Mrs. Marissa Ferris. She is Mrs. Florida Galaxy, and she's going to be on right before she heads out to her national competition. So make sure y'all tune in Wednesday at 7. Please watch the replay of this. Get your friends in here to watch, and never let anybody dull your sparkle because they can't handle your shine. We'll see you on the next round. Good night, everyone.